Hey, it's Alexis. So for some reason, I can't see when you join and I can't see any hearts, so I can't say hi. And I love that you leave comments because I get to look at them in the after repeat, but I can't see them right now. I don't know what's going on with my Periscope. But I want to talk to you about and share with you some of the tips I've learned the really painful way about what to do when you detox or when you're sugar-free or you just want something really nice to drink and you're sick of drinking water. So about 3.5 years ago when I was living in New Zealand, my doctor at the time was an amazing naturopath. She was a naturopath. She was also a doctor. She was also a gynecologist. It was in a small town in New Zealand, so she had a lot of training. She was just phenomenal. And what she did for me was take me off of wheat, all gluten, all dairy, all sugar, no alcohol, no caffeine. Oh my gosh, it was awful. This is a person who I literally ate nachos for 54 days straight until my neighbor walked into my house in DC and said, no more nachos for you, and cooked for me for a good month. I love my breads. I love my cheeses. I love everything about it. Macaroni and cheese, absolutely my favorite meal next to fondue or pizza. So going gluten and dairy free was a shock. Going sugar-free was a double shock. I've got like a family history of sugar addiction so far back, like we might as well have invented sugar because we're so addicted to it. So it was a huge, huge challenge for me to get off all of that stuff. Oh wait, I can see hearts. Oh, I can see you guys. Thank you. I still can't see any comments, but yes, thank you. I don't know what's going on with my Periscope. But one of the cool things, oh, thank you. I love those. It's my favorite color, green. One of the things that really helped me through the challenge of learning how to be sugar-free was figuring out how to make drinks that didn't just bore me to death. Because I love water. I drink so much water, I actually overhydrated. Did you know that was a thing? I overhydrated in college. I had to go to the doctor. I consistently overhydrate. It's something I've been working on. So I love water. It's not that I don't love water, but every now and then you want to change. So here are a couple options. I'm going to flip the screen and show you some of the things I laid out. Okay. So this is my sweet treat. So I use almond milk with raw cacao. So of course you should be sugar wheat free. It's really hard, but it's totally worth it. You have so much more energy. It's amazing. So some of these milks, like I have an oat milk here and an almond milk here, and some of the milks have sugar in it. I love this oat milk because it doesn't have any sugar in it, but you may have to check your almond milks and your other milks. And if you're allergic to almonds, of course, don't go for almond milk, or oats for that matter. So what I love about this, I didn't have any cacao powder because of course I eat it as soon as I have it, but I also use this Ghirardelli 100% cacao bar. It's in the baking aisle, and this is what I snack on during the day. I allow myself to have as much of this as I want because there's no sugar, there's no dairy. It's literally like they took cacao powder. Am I pronouncing that correctly? I have no idea. It's literally like they took, what's it say there? Unsweetened chocolate. It's just like they took the powder and shoved it into a bar. It's really hard to get used to, trust me, but it's really, really yummy. So you can melt this in a liquid, so just heat it over the stove in a small pan, melting it, or you just dump cacao powder right into, or the raw cacao powder right into the milks as you're heating them. And if you really need something sweet, add a drop or two of stevia in the beginning. So in the beginning, stevia really, really helped me get through those sweet cravings, and then after a little bit, I was able to drop it and just really enjoy the creaminess and the depth and intensity of the raw chocolate with that. Another thing I really love is kombucha. So you can get raw kombuchas, but I also love this green tea kombucha. So I'm not entirely caffeine free anymore, and this one I really love because coffee makes me break out, but green tea doesn't, and I love the kombucha for the digestive support. You can also get it at the grocery store in bottles, and it's just like you get a drink bottle. It's in the refrigerator aisle, and you'll have all different flavors. Like there's a spirulina flavor, like a green flavor. There's a berry flavor or pomegranate flavor. Sometimes they have chia seeds floating in it. And kombucha is like a fermented food. So I don't have yogurts anymore. I don't have any of those probiotics in my life. But I do really like fermented foods because of the live cultures and the help with digestive system. Especially when you're changing your diet and maybe your gut's really messed up from years of being on antibiotics or eating the wrong things. I was a vegetarian for a long time, and for me it wasn't a good decision, so I have to do a lot of correcting in my diet. So adding that extra oomph with the kombucha, adding all the help I can get with the fermented foods is really helpful. So I love kombucha, really great for digestion, really great for helping feel like you're cleansing, and it also adds a little bit of flavor. You can get a cold version or the hot version with the kombucha tea. So those are awesome. And then I'll show you two more things. Oh, turmeric.
really basic. So when you're trying to cleanse, turmeric is really good if you have a lot of inflammation in the system. So I used to suffer from fibromyalgia and also just a bunch of other things, especially acne. It was a big problem for me. So I would make hot water and I would boil some turmeric in it, or just simmer it really. And so it's just, you add a scoop in it, and turmeric helps deal with the swelling. You can also add it to anything, like if you make homemade hummus, throw this in there. If you make like roasted veggies in the oven, just roll them in turmeric before you pop them in. It stains your fingers a little bit, so make sure you don't touch anything, especially if you're wearing white pants. But anyway, it's a great drink. Throw it in some hot water and just sip it. It has a little bit of it's like a really mild flavor, but it's different than water. So if you're looking for something just a little bit different, this is a great thing to add. I used to also simmer some oat straw. Like, I'm going to show you some herbs here, but oat straw is not one of these. But I used to just simmer some oat straw, and I would add a little turmeric to that and drink, and then sift the oat straw out of the water and then drink it, because it also has really healing properties. This is a combination of herbs that I had an herbalist make for me to help me with specific issues that I wanted to. So you see there's some rose leaves in there. That was really helpful for me because it's very peaceful, it's very calming, it's a soothing herb. Actually, there may be some oat straw in there. There's all sorts of herbs in there, but I had it specially blended for me and what I wanted to. So I want to feel more calm. I wanted to settle my nervous system. I wanted to help my digestion. I wanted to open myself to more love in my life, especially from myself. So I turned to somebody who's really knowledgeable in Chinese herbs and other herbs to provide for me a recipe of how to make my own herbal tea. And what I do is I measure it out. He actually gave me these giant bags. Let me see if I can find a bag. I have a little bit left. So I order it in these bags from this awesome company. Oh, so this is oats, Milky Top Oats, and this is from Jean's Garden, which is in Shodak, New York. So you go onto Jean's Garden website and you just order whatever herbs that you'd like, and they ship them to you, and it comes in this big box with like huge amounts of herbs. And then what I do is I dole them out into the dosage that the herbalist suggested for me. And then I make them, I put 4 quarts of water on in a huge pot on the stove, dump those in there, and then I let it simmer for about an hour. And you want 3 quarts in the end, so I start with 4 because it always simmers down. And then I just cool it. I put it in a big old jar, bigger than this, so this is a pint size, I think, so I put it in a quart size mason jar, put it in the fridge, drink 1 a day. It's awesome. Most people think it tastes disgusting, but because the herbs are specially formulated for me, I think it tastes amazing. There's licorice root in there, there's all sorts of other things just for me, and I love it because it's exactly what my body needs, so I absolutely love it. Another thing that I really love to do, I'm huge into essential oils, and I really love Young Living essential oils. So I buy sparkling water because I love sparkling water, and then I add some of my oils to it. So lemon is one of my favorites to dump in there, just a little bit of lemon. There's also an oil called Citrus Fresh, which is a combination of the citrus oils like tangerine and grapefruit and lemon. Put a little drop in there. You don't even need more than 1 drop. You just put 1 drop, and it's like, oh, wait, I have flavor to my water. And you can do it to normal water as well. In fact, if you have lemon essential oil at home, I suggest putting it on all your water because it is an antibacterial agent and it'll help. Oh, plant therapy lemon oil. I haven't heard of that one. Awesome. And I'm so excited I can see your comment, by the way. Clearly something has worked out. Yeah, organic is so important, especially if you're going through all the process of detoxing. Why not go all the way and get organic products to help your body be the most supported that it can be? So I love lemon, any of the citrus ones. Then I also love lavender. That's really soothing. You can put it in a hot tea that you're having. You can put a drop in hot chocolate if you're making a hot chocolate for yourself so it has that little bit of extra zing. You can put it in your water. I love it in sparkling water. I tried peppermint in sparkling water, and I think I did a little too much because it burned the edges of my mouth. So just be careful that you're using 1 drop and test it out and see how it goes. But lemon in particular, tangerine, grapefruit, all those. Grapefruit is really good for weight loss. So grapefruit oil, just a drop of that in your water or a drop of that in your juice, really, really great for that. Juices I tend to stay away from because juices spike your blood sugar because there's such a concentrated amount of sugar from fruits. So if you're going sugar-free, especially in the beginning, for me, it was really key for me to drop natural sugars as well. Now, I know there's a lot of debate on that, but I'm a massive sugar addict. Like, it's out of control, like full addictive response. So for me to have those natural fruit sugars still going in my diet, it was really hard for me to kick the habit. But for 3 weeks, I did no sugar at all, including no natural sugars, so that I wouldn't, well, natural sugars meaning fruits.
of course, everything has sugar in it, but the really spiky ones like bananas or berries or something, so that I didn't have that big up and then a big crash. And after 3 weeks when I leveled out, then I was able to add fruit back in, and it was totally fine. And like I said, I subsisted on my Ghirardelli 100% baker's chocolate and the raw cacao powder in milk, and stevia really helped me in the beginning. So those are some of the things that I really like to drink. We had the yummy, yummy hot chocolates that you can make yourself. I love the powder more than the bar, but this is what I snack on, so I keep like 12 of these in the house at all times. Kombucha, whether you get the cold or the tea, that has a little bit of caffeine in it, but there are some kombucha teas that don't. And also you can get the cold kombucha at the store. The turmeric, or you can do oat straw that you simmer in water. Turmeric's really great for anti-inflammation and dealing with inflammation. Find an herbalist, have a concoction made specifically for you that you can cook up for yourself. I bought all those oats a year ago, and I'm still going. So it lasts for a really long time. And then grab your own essential oils, throw them in. Oh, you make your own almond milk. Idea. Because it's not that hard either. I think you just throw it in the grinder and grind it up. I mean, you have to have a good one. I haven't done that yet. I used to make everything from scratch. I would cook for 8 hours a day, and it was so exhausting. I'm happy not to be in that world anymore. But it really took me a long time to adjust my diet. But almonds are amazing. There's so much there. Ooh, dates. That would be really yummy. Okay, now I want to do periscopes on recipes with almonds and dates because there's so many things. That's awesome. Cool. Well, thank you, and I hope this was helpful. Like I said, diet is like a huge thing. So the more we can share and support each other, the better off we're all going to be. Because it's hard. It's just hard to make changes, and you feel like a total outcast. I know I didn't eat in public for 2 years, not because I was afraid to be seen eating in public, but because I couldn't eat in public. There was nothing at a restaurant, nothing at a cafe, nothing at coffee shops. Yeah, raw oats are awesome because they're naturally candida. Candida is that's that sugar spike. It's that craving for sugar that the body has and the yeast. Yeah. So all these ways of eating, like there's just so much to learn. Oh yeah, raw sprouting oats are awesome. Oh good, mate, you know what? You need to lead a periscope on oats and all this raw food and how to make almond milk. That's awesome. Do you make your own almond butter too? Yeah, I love Against It Candida. Oh, that's actually a really cool thing. So if you have a lot of sugar cravings and you're wondering, do I have candida or am I just, in a habit of eating sugar? What my doctor had me do is she said, first thing in the morning, take a cup of water, just any old cup. I'll just go grab one. So any old cup, and then fill it with a little bit of water. So you take a glass just like this, you fill it with some water, about halfway, maybe a little bit more, and you just spit in it. I'm not going to spit in it, but you spit in the water and then you put it down. And then for a half an hour, you leave for half an hour and you come back, and if the spit is stringy, you probably have candida. And if it's globular, you probably don't. So that's a really quick test that you can do at home in the morning, first thing in the morning, cup of water, spit in it, come back a half an hour later. If it's stringy, you might have candida. If it's globular, you're probably good. And then you can start to look at ways to address whether or not you have candida, because that cutting out the sugars is really huge. Oh, thanks. Yeah, my doctor was amazing. She was amazing. It's one of the bummers about leaving New Zealand is I don't get to have her as my doctor anymore. Though I did actually call her long distance for the first 6 months I was back in the States. But yeah, candida is really, really a hard thing, but you can do it. And especially cutting out those natural sugars is really helpful in the beginning. And these are the tricks that I used to keep myself sane when I was like, come on, I got nothing. You took away bread and dairy and all of this. And at the time I was a vegetarian. In fact, I was vegan. So literally it was like, oh, wait, you just don't want me to eat? Okay. And it was really, really challenging until I found a way to make it healthy and helpful for me. But these tricks of having a little bit of flavor and a little bit of punch and what felt like a treat, because so much was taken out of my diet that I was like, oh, look at these new treats that I didn't know existed. I can make hot chocolate. It's homemade and it's different, but it's still really yummy. And once you're used to it, you actually don't even like the other stuff because it's way too sweet. This stuff is great. So, hope that helps. Thank you so much and talk to you soon. Mwah!